in a restless world like this is. Not long ago, or maybe I dreamt it or made it up or have suddenly lost track of its train in the hocus-pocus of the dissolving days. No, if I bend the turn around the corner, come at it from all three sides at once, or bounce the ball against all manner of bleary-eyed fortune-tellers, well, you can see for yourselves there's nothing up my sleeves, or notice even rocks occasionally break if enough pressure is applied. As far as you go in one direction, all the further you'll have to go on before the way back has become totally indivisible.
Max, you want to say something to get us started about that?
Sure. I've always gotten stuck on the "nothing up my sleeves" line, which I think I'm stuck on in our video discussion, our original video discussion of this poem. The reading is Charles's reading is so damn powerful and sincere, and yet this invitation to look up the sleeve seems so kind of tricky and coy almost that I don't know what to make of that. He seems almost like a conjurer at that point, like he's going to play a trick on us, and I'm not sure what that trick is.
So you would say, aside from the performance tone, the actual oral tone, which is sad and sincere, what's the tone of the poem, Max?
It seems sincere up until that moment. I mean, it seems sad. It seems.
What if he's not ironic about nothing up his sleeves? What if he's saying, as he has in recent years, you know, I'm actually quite a transparent poet, even though the language is all non-transparent, and I don't believe in linguistic transparency. What if he's actually saying, there really isn't anything up my sleeve? I'm really, really confused in this restless world. What if he's saying that, Max?
But that's what people say when they actually have something up their sleeves or something hidden in their back pocket. No, that is though. That's precisely what you say to kind of say, like, oh, don't look here where the trick is happening.
I think you're right, and the layers and layers in the Chinese boxness, so-called, of this poem actually suggests that you're right, that there is always something up one's sleeve linguistically. Anna, what's your thought? And then we'll open this up to anybody. Anna, you're smiling.
My one thought on this poem, oh jeez. I guess the thing that always has struck me about this is the kind of contrast, I guess, between that final word of indivisible and how much this poem completely relies on its own sort of twists and turns and bends around itself. It gets all wrapped around the axle, but then you end on this word indivisible, which I can't help reading also in the context of it maybe being a 9/11 poem and thinking about the Pledge of Allegiance.
Yeah.
I don't really know what to do with all those things, but that's just this is what this poem does to my mind.
Yeah. Julia, can you do something with totally indivisible?
Well, I'm not really struck by the way Charles reads that. So he drags it out. He pronounces every single syllable. It's as if he's discovering the idea as he's reading the word. Yeah. And so there is something almost like an epiphany at the end of this poem. And so I'm still going back to Rebecca's question on the discussion forum about what does it mean that this poem is 14 lines. And Bernadette Mayer's remarks last week about the sonnet being a stupid form because it suggests that any kind of conclusion is possible. And so if this is meant to be read as a kind of sonnet, then I think that indivisible is saying something about coherence.
Yeah. Okay. It's possible that indivisible is both allegiant in the sense of the Pledge of Allegiance in a nationalistic moment post 9/11. It's also possible that simply using the word indivisible is ironic, right? Because the Chapter 9.1 poet actually believes in indivisibility, both in fragment, which is a modernist concept, but also of how categories are not dividable, which is a postmodern concept. And totally indivisible, this way back has become indivisible. He doesn't know how to get back, whether it's back uptown or back across the Brooklyn Bridge or wherever it is he's trying to wander in this chaotic moment. indivisibility is what everybody in the nationalistic moment is talking about, as if this were allegiant, and it's just a powerful word. Jason wants to say something, and then what we'll do is we'll bring the caller in, and then we'll invite Bob and Michelle and others to say something about this poem. So, Jason, quickly.
Okay. Well, I think that the poem is extremely precise, and I think all the words in the last lines are precise in their specificity. And I think that in a way we can go back to the negative response to Claude McKay to think about the choice of a sonnet here. As far as you go in one direction, all the further you'll have to go on before the way back has become totally indivisible. So if a way was indivisible, it wouldn't be traversable in the way of Zeno's paradox. So I think that, okay, break aside. The other thing is that, in a way, this is, to me, a really scary poem about the fear of an indivisible nation rearing up in its full power.
And I would
say that, and I want to say one quick thing, that ironically I will say that without language poetry we wouldn't have had the end of the Cold War, a way of dealing with AIDS, gay marriage, legalization of marijuana. Language poetry brought the election of the first African American president. The thing is what Charles plays with, I think, in the tone of his delivery of the poem, is a Cheney-esque are working against pronouncements of certainty and surety that are, for them, coming out of a highly politically charged moment in history, are ever urgent to never finish the sentence, in a sense, to never collapse into the danger of coherence.